is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Of course, my name is Chayton Peterson. This is the 10 in the Pit Bowling Podcast. If you pause for a second, nope, not actually pause, but I'm gonna take a second, share this out to the masses so maybe we can get some more viewers in. I know it's been a long time since you guys have seen me, but I appreciate everything that you've done. It's been quite a wild ride, so that's kind of what we're going to go over throughout the podcast today. So just bear with me a few moments, and then we are going to get going on the content that I kind of want to go over today. So I just simply want to go in, find the stream, share it across my social media platforms. So bear with me one moment here. All right. Put that down. Okay. Excuse me. I appreciate your guys' patience there as just try to share that out on social media so we can get a little bit more of a following. As you can see, we've done some upgrades to the studio. I got this new microphone set up, so the sound quality is just going to be leaps and bounds better than it was. So I've got a few things I kind of want to cover with you guys. Hold on one second. I just lost it. There we go. A few things that we're going to go over today that I kind of want to touch on, kind of where I've been, what I plan to be doing in the future, potentially some big life changes that have happened while I have kind of been MIA. So where I have been, obviously with COVID, it's been kind of a crazy time for a lot of people, not just myself, I'm sure for everybody. So it's been difficult. Not a whole lot of content has been put out by myself. I do apologize for that. Excuse me, but it is the reality of the situation. I just wasn't able to on a lot of cases. Before then as well, what I actually have is a lot of content that I just need to put together that I just simply haven't. But I've made some upgrades to some of my software, some of the editing features. Obviously, our sound system is going to be a little bit better moving forward. But I just got to do it at this point, and should be having some more time here soon with some of the changes that I'll be making. Probably making an announcement sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. It's a pretty big announcement, like probably the biggest of my entire life, and I'm pretty excited for that. So tune in, stay up to date on social media, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on moving forward. I'm going to be able to bring you some pretty awesome stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been. I'm going to try to hopefully have some time now to put together a lot of the content that I have been. Now with my capability to go live in this situation, at this quality, I feel comfortable potentially trying to live stream some of the tournaments around here. I'm able to, capture some video of what's going on while I can, if I'm not bowling, staying behind the scenes, making sure the stream's healthy, and potentially, commentating on what's going on. So that is definitely something that I want to do. I think that'll be really fun for not just myself, but a lot of people bowling in the community out here on this side. It should be bringing some good content because we have a whole plethora of amazing bowlers out here in Utah and the Northwest. Excuse me. So with this new capability, that's kind of the direction that I want to go. Should be able to do this. My plan is with the 10 of the Pit bowling podcast type live stream thing. Don't quite know exactly what it's going to be. It's not completely just a podcast, but my plan is to do this every Tuesday for sure. I want to do this every Tuesday. Tuesdays are good days for me where I don't really have a whole lot going on. So we will get together, live on Tuesdays and have a discussion. I'm going to kind of go over what our plan is on Tuesdays to discuss. But yeah, that's kind of my plan, is to have a nice little discussion on Tuesdays. If you guys are watching, go ahead and throw some comments in the chat. I am monitoring the chat at all times. So if you have a question, throw it in there. We'll be happy to answer it. But beyond that, yeah, we every Tuesday I think is going to be a good spot for us to discuss some things. There's a lot of things that I want to discuss that can help grow the sport. Just a lot of things that I've been seeing that I think inhibit potentially growth in the sport. So I want to go over those things with us and get some information, so do some education now that I'll have that ability. So some kind of new segments, any new balls, specifically storm balls that come out, we'll be discussing those. And then subsequently, now that I have all of my arsenal laid out so far, I'll, as soon as there's a new release, I'll be able to curate a video pretty quickly that I've got everything set up the way I want it on my software. And then we should be able to go and have a video out almost immediately. So I'm really excited for that aspect. And we can, it's not necessarily going to be a review. I don't really like the word review. It's got too many bad connotations, I guess, within the industry. But I really want to go over an in-depth analysis of the ball. And give you some reasons, because for me personally, this is one of the things in the future that we'll go over on one of the podcasts, is how my view of a bowling ball might differentiate from yours. And a lot of people that, just bowl for fun or something to that extent, is that I view a bowling ball as a tool, where you may view a bowling ball as a toy. And that's totally fine. But I think, shifting our view a little bit and trying to view them more as a tool will really help us understand, why maybe a ball does something that maybe we don't like, because maybe we don't need that tool. Maybe it's not a tool that we use often. Maybe we don't understand how that tool is supposed to help us. So definitely something that I want to go over in the future, because I think a lot of that is lost, and we just get caught up in, man, this ball hooks, or it goes to the pins, and it continues. We got all of these words, and we don't really understand what they mean. We just get these catchy buzzwords, and I really want to get to the bottom of exactly the dynamics that's happening, why that tool would be beneficial for you, why you would use that tool, why maybe you wouldn't use that tool if you don't bowl in certain situations. So, we don't get caught up in these reasons why, man, this ball just sucks, because in a lot of cases, that's just not true. The ball doesn't suck. It may just fit a smaller portion of tools, because in a lot of balls, they fit a lot of different tools, and the way we drill them can differentiate largely. Excuse me. But again, that'll be on another podcast, not this one. I've got a lot of stuff I kind of want to go over. So, new balls, we're going to get in some in-depth analysis of those bowling balls and really figure out what's going on there. I want to do on Tuesdays, Tune-Up Tuesdays. I think it'll be really beneficial for us to discuss some of the pillars of success that I believe in, that I think we really need to focus on to get better. And in the future, again, we'll be going over those. One is balls. Balls I can go on for all day. It's kind of my specialty, but that is another one. Physical game, mental game, a lot of specifics within those broad spectrums. Also, then I think another thing is I do want to do PBA show reactions. Now, I'm not quite sure if I want to live stream me actually watching the show. I think that would be pretty fun. Just availability, I think, and would be the only thing getting in the way of that now, since I have the equipment in order for me to really bring that to life, bring that vision of that immediate reaction to life. I think that would be really fun. But if the availability is not there, obviously the next day or something, get on and react to it, and maybe we can show some clips as well. But yeah, those are kind of the segments that I want to go over that I'll really incorporate into the 10 the Pit Bowling podcast. In the future, any questions that I find that come up, and with some of the announcement that I'm going to have next week, I probably will be getting more and more of these questions that I'll be able to answer. I'm going to pick like 3 or 4 questions, and then we'll do an in-depth analysis of that question and find a really good way to answer that's helpful for everybody. So I think that'll be fun. We'll go any recent tournament recaps. I do bowl a USELAC this weekend. Excited for that. Haven't really competed much in a while. I've got that USELAC, and then I'm going to bowl a Swiss Trio over in Winnemucca, Nevada. So that'll be pretty fun. Again, that'll kind of go along with that big announcement that I've got coming on. So I'm really excited I don't quite know exactly how I'm going to do it yet. Some logistics I need to go through, but the deal's set in stone, and I'm super, super, super excited. And then, any coming up tournaments, it is getting to be tournament season, but with COVID, you never know what's going on. So play it by ear, I guess. There's just not a whole lot planned, which is disappointing. But again, with some of the announcements that I have to make, I think it'll be. We'll just have to talk about it next week, because I really don't know what's my plans completely changed, and it's going to be a good time. So with that's kind of going to have the podcast is going to be structured with what we're going to be discussing. But yeah, now that I have the capability to really get in depth and have these good discussions with you guys and interact, I think that we can really get better and try to touch a broader spectrum. There are 2 aspects of growing this sport, and this is kind of be our topic today. So this will be a short introduction to what I plan on doing. But as far as some sort of topic to talk about, I think the 2 facets is, one is gaining new non-bowlers, right? Gaining new non-bowlers into the sport, which that part I personally think is really difficult. It's difficult for me. I have a lot of friends that are non-bowlers, and it's difficult to get them into the competitive side a little bit. Even if it's not super competitive, it's just a league. It's really hard to persuade them that this is something that's fun, that you should try. To purchase equipment, to watch. It's really hard to get them in the door. And then what the second part of that, the second face, we have new non-bowlers here. Then we have youth bowlers, and I think this part is really overlooked maybe a little bit. We focus a lot on getting the new non-bowlers, because really that's a large majority. But to grow the competitive scene, we really need to stick these kids and keep them in the sport. Give them a reason to want to compete, because they're really good. If you start seeing now in the PBA shows, the new generation of kids, they look like athletes. They're really, they just look fun and cool, and that's what we really, really need. If we were watching a show, we were watching the round of 24 on the right side of the bracket of the PBA playoffs, and we were watching, and my family had made comments, that in the past, those stereotypical bowlers, the look they had, and now these younger kids, they're good looking, they're energetic, they're fit, they look like athletes, they look like they're supposed to be there. So we need to get these kids, we need to get them to stay and show them, that they can make a living bowling, that it's fun, all of these things that make bowling great, the travel, everything like that. And the greater we can grow that spectrum, because growing the PBA itself, the more those kids and their friends want to bowl, because it's cool and they get to do really cool things. Where maybe in a team sport, if you're not necessarily good enough, you maybe get overlooked, and like like baseball, football, things like that. Where those team sports do teach really good lessons, maybe they get a little left behind sometimes. With bowling, that can happen, but they still can opt to do really cool things and have really good relationships. So I think it's really important getting these kids interested and getting them to continue to be interested, because I think a lot of the interest falls off around high school and stuff like that. But I think if we can capture those kids, a larger majority than we have been, and moving that through onto college, onto the professional scene, onto the amateur scene, and then the professional scene. Because I myself, I've bowled a lot. I've bowled all over the world, or not all over the world at this point, but I have bowled all over the Northwest and the United States, and now moving, on into like Canada last year. It's fun, man. You get to do a lot of cool stuff, and you don't necessarily need to be part of a team. So that's kind of my issue, is that after high school, then what? Because there's a very small portion of kids that continue to play on into college. So, or even after college, then what? Because an even smaller portion of those kids continue to play. So with bowling, you can really, and kind of like golf, you can really continue to play throughout your life. And if you're good at bowling, you can continue to play at a high level throughout your life, without the need, to be part of a team or anything like that. And you still build really good relationships. You can, travel, all of these great things. And I think it's important to really, beat in this attitude that this is a viable option. It's fun. You can build really good relationships, things like that. So really, that's what I want to, Nate. Excuse me. We really need to focus on trying to capture, in my opinion, a larger portion of those kids, because those kids will bring more of the non-bowlers into the sport. Because it's difficult, in my opinion, at this age where I'm at, to pull new people in. But if you can pull them in at a younger age, because their friends bowl XYZ, they show why it's fun, they have a good time, they get better. I think that's a big thing, is that they get better. They see a lot of improvement. Man, if I look now, the kids today are so much better than I was when I was a kid, and it's mind-blowing. So if we can really capture these kids, get them better, get them to have fun at a high level, not just nurturing them on these really easy shots that makes it looks like they're good. But if we can really make them better, and then continue that on to where we're on a sports shot again, and they're still pretty good, and they're still having fun, they're still getting that competitive juices flowing, that's when I think we'll start capturing a larger portion of those kids. Those kids will bring more kids, and so on and so forth. So, and that's just my opinion. I think it's difficult, like I said, to capture new non-bowlers at my age, or even at the high school age. And it's got to be before that. You've got to get the interest into them, and they've got to want to continue the ball. And part of the reason is because they look at the tour, and maybe the tour's not on TV all the time. It's not getting all the press that it should, or it's not like up in their face. And then as they get older, they realize, maybe the money's just not there, and there's a very small portion of professional bowlers that can even make a living only bowling. And that's difficult. And that is difficult. So, that's one of the topics, things like this, I want to discuss. I'll have some questions, hopefully, by next time on Tuesday, potentially. I'll be a little bit busy this weekend, so I won't really be able to put out, as far as live streams, anything this weekend. But, moving forward as the winter comes, we're going to be going into winter and tournament season. And if I'm not, my plans will consist of bowling tournaments. And, all of my stuff is pretty mobile, so potentially be streaming some tournaments. I could potentially be streaming a tournament this weekend. So if I do live stream, it will be potentially the finals. Hopefully it's not, because I'll be bowling in them, and really it's kind of difficult to just do this while I'm bowling. I don't know how much I want to do that, but if I do live stream, it could potentially be this weekend, and I live stream the finals of the USLAC Classic Delta Lane. So we'll take a look at that, because I've got the equipment at this point to set it up, and I think that will be pretty fun for a lot of people to watch, especially during COVID, when necessarily not everybody can be in the bowling center or be there and watch XYZ. So with that, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down. I'm going to potentially try doing the next one on Facebook and see what kind of response I get, how many more views I get. I just kind of want to compare how they perform, And so, because if I do it on Facebook, I can just download the video and then upload it to YouTube, and then you all can watch it that way. We just lose the interactiveness. But, if everybody wants to go on Facebook and follow my Facebook page, Chayton Peterson, follow me, like my page. We'll do next Tuesday. We will be doing this podcast on that page. And I'll compare how those two videos perform, and I really do want to do it on Facebook. I think we've got some cool options there, and then be able to upload the video on to YouTube. So I may do that vice versa for this one, and just kind of see what performance, the differences in performance. But I know it's been a super long time since I've seen you guys. I do appreciate all the support we've got. We're at 1.8 thousand followers. Never in a million years did I think we'd ever get that big. But I love it. I love connecting with everybody. I love the speaking, and it looks like we'll be connecting a little more with some of the plans that I have moving forward that I will be announcing next week. Hopefully I have some enough to announce it on the podcast next week. If not, you'll just need to stay tuned to my social media. Again, Chayton Peterson. It's impossible to miss because it's the only name that's on Facebook. Instagram, the same thing as well. CHAYTONPETERSEN. And Mr. Bob Taylor, what's up, man? How's it going? I appreciate your guys' loyalty. Again, Bob, I don't know if you have a Facebook, go on to Facebook, Chayton Peterson, like my page, because the next podcast, the next live stream is gonna be on there on Tuesday afternoon. I'm gonna aim probably gonna be later than this one, probably around 6 or 7 p.m. So Mountain Time. So maybe 2 hours from now is when it would start. That's kind of my aim. Again, I've got some huge plans, and I don't really know how everything's going to fit in with each other. So as I learn those things, you'll learn those things, and we're going to be able to bring some awesome stuff. I can't wait for it. When this is over, be sure to go back. Be sure to like it, subscribe, tell your friends about it, tell all your bowling buddies, throw them some questions. I want to grow this community so we can have some really good discussions and learn a thing or two. But I'm signing off again. Chayton Peterson, Facebook. Next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. I'm going to try for 7 p.m. I'll update you. If you like the page, you'll know. If you don't like the page, you won't know. And then you'll just know when it comes out, and then, man, you don't get to interact. But I'm signing off. It was great to see y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much for staying. Let me know. Do you like the sound quality? Do you like the updated? I don't know if you like the mic in my face, but do you like the live stream? How's the quality? Throw the comments. I don't know what to change. If you don't tell me, please throw them in there. I'm signing off. See you guys later.